Hello, Irish Nation. This is another episode of the Golden Domer Homer podcast. I'm back again as your host, Robbie Niebuhr. Uh, with me is Kenny Ball, the Cub,
That's right. Go Irish.
and Tyler D, the prognosticator.
Howdy.
We're going to recap a little bit of Toledo and go over what we got coming up this week with Purdue, as well as go over our regular picks, locks, and super dogs. So, Kenny Ball, go ahead and lead us off with what you thought about this game.
Well, we talked a little bit before Ty hopped on, Robbie. One of the only positives I can come up. Well, you won. That's a positive, obviously. J.D. Bertrand, man, he played out of his mind. Heard his name all day up there. Really kept the defense in check. Their running game, they did run the ball pretty well, but he did a nice job on the inside there and making a couple plays. I got that he had 11 tackles, 3 for a loss, and he had a fumble recovery. So that's getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. Ty, you got any positives from the week?
Buckner's got me excited about the future. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm right there with both you guys. Those are the two things I come up with. The D line played all right, other than a couple plays here and there. I mean, you take out that, what was it? How long was that run play they had for a touchdown? Was it 60-some yards?
Let me see here.
61.
Yeah, 61 yards. Take out the 61-yard run. They went 29 carries for what's that? 63 yards. 63 yards. We played pretty good other than that one big carry. I don't know. I'm less mad at the defense than I was right after the game ended. I think they had a better game than it looked like. Take away a couple big plays and whatever Kyle Hamilton was doing this weekend.
And first of all, on him, I looked at that play. I think he caught it. I don't know how that interception got overturned. Now, ultimately, I think that resulted in a field goal, so that wasn't terrible. The other thing that kills you is the pick six at the end of the half. I don't know if he just didn't see the guy or what happened, but that guy made a pretty good play on the route and took it to the house, and it got quiet real quick.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked to see Jack Cohn get baited into that throw. I can't believe he threw that. It was shocking. I mean, he's had such a good decision making throughout. He might hold on to the ball a little bit long, but can't believe he threw that ball.
Well, the one thing I don't understand is go ahead, Ty.
Well, Kyron can't fumble that ball either. I mean, you're driving to at least get a field goal and probably ice the game, and then you put the ball on the turf and give up a touchdown the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of leads into things that need to improve for him. For me, you go back to that interception from Cohn. The first drive, you march right down the field. It takes you 2 minutes and 15 seconds to score. Mayer is all over the offense. He's getting touches. The next time they try to get him the ball is when Cohn throws the interception.
Yep.
I don't understand why it happened twice now. We did it the first game, went right down the field, used Mayer 3 or 4 times, touchdown. Did it again in this game, and here we are talking again about how he didn't touch the ball for a quarter and a half.
Right. Used in the first quarter and the fourth quarter.
And I don't understand that. And every time he touches the ball, they score, it feels like. I mean, as soon as they need a touchdown, they go to him every time. And we saw it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Tommy was very run heavy. And, in the past that's worked. But I think that obviously we're seeing the biggest weakness on the offense by far is the line. And if you can't, they got to figure out something because they're not going to be able to run the ball like they have in years past.
Yeah, the interior is bad. I mean, Patterson's been good, but those two guards, they looked lost. Yeah, Saturday. It was insane. They were multiple plays where you'd see them both come off the ball, and somehow on a zone run read to their side, they managed to not touch anybody and look confused, miss everything in pass pro. It was hard to watch.
Disaster. I mean, I don't know how many sacks they gave up. I would think it was double digits, but it's like, you've got Cohn, who's got bricks in his feet. I mean, he's not very agile. A couple of those sacks you see a quarterback like Ian break out of. You didn't see that with Cohn, but at the same time, you can't make a big play because the routes can't develop because he doesn't have any time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just looked. It says they got sacked 6 times this week. So one of
like a lot more.
I couldn't tell you the last time they got sacked that many times, especially when it was against a team that wasn't Bama or Clemson. And so that was my biggest thing to improve. I thought the defense. I mean, until the fourth quarter, the defense was great.
Yep, stop the big plays.
Week 1. Same story as week 1. They were great till the fourth quarter.
Yep, and something happens in the fourth quarter where we can't stop a big play, and it kills us.
Well, we got lucky on a few times there. There was Hamilton got beat twice in the, I don't remember which quarter it was, second, third, fourth, but where they just missed the throw. We got a sack, or we got a hand on the ball. I don't know if he was just off or what he was doing this game, but it was about the worst game I've seen Kyle Hamilton play in his Notre Dame career so far. And I don't want to bang on him. I'm not banging on him. I'm sure he'll come back and be just fine. But it was weird to watch with Toledo defenders beating him, or Toledo receivers beating him in the middle of the field for what would have been 6.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other improvements? I mean, like we said, if you keep the pick 6 off the board, it gets the game kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah, that and the Kyron fumble. Kyron fumble gave up.
Yep. One thing I did want to talk about, maybe the play of the game, Kevin Austin's catch on the sideline.
Yeah, he's a stud.
What a snap! I thought there was no way he caught it. And the final drive when they had to go score. So it had Ty was right. It had Virginia Tech 2019 vibes.
Yeah, it did.
Time in that game.
Or even Ball State 2018 to stay in the MAC.
Yeah. That was maybe the worst game I've ever watched was that Ball State game. I've never been as upset.
Would they win like 13-8 or something? I mean,
it was so bad. It was almost as bad as the Louisville game last year. The Louisville game last year might have actually been the worst football game I've ever watched.
It's like watching soccer.
Oh, what we didn't talk about was the Cone versus Buckner, because Tyler Buckner was the other bright spot.
Yeah, I liked how our offense looked with him on the field. He only really made one throw, but it was on the money to Tyree. That's right.
And it was fading left, sidearm around a defender, right on the money.
I like that little RPO they got there where they fake to the running back, and then he decides if he wants to throw it or not.
Yeah. And the big thing is also in the RPO game is the keeping it, because Jack Cone has no option of keeping it.
Absolutely.
So they're crashing that backside hard. As soon as Buckner was in, he goes 32 yards.
Or Kyron breaks one for a touchdown, a long one.
Because they couldn't crash.
Exactly. Yep. So one more bright spot, and we've talked about this just before we move on. Ty and I had this conversation a couple of years back. I don't know if I've ever been more surprised in the performance of a Notre Dame player more than Jonathan Dorr. That guy just continues to make big kick after big kick. I know he missed one the other day, but wind was in his face. It was about a 50-yarder. I mean, but for the most part, he has just been drilling everything.
Yep.
And that was kind of a question mark when Yoon left. Who was going to step up? So that's good.
He came in for Yoon a couple times when Yoon got hurt, and I think he missed a lot. And it was like,
I think he missed a couple extra points.
Yeah, it's like, what are we in for? And then he's answered the call, to say the least.
Yeah, he's had some issues, and they've got this. I mean, like that was one of the big things was after he hit the game winner at Florida State, the first person out on the field celebrating with him was the sports psychologist that has apparently got him back on track big time. So
okay.
So speaking of Florida State, we'll talk a little bit about Notre Dame's schedule here. You got 4 teams that lost this week. One was Toledo, obviously. Navy looks hellacious.
Might be the worst team on the schedule.
Yeah, they are bad. Florida State loses on a Hail Mary to Jacksonville State,
who got blown out by UAB week 1. So
yeah, and then USC gets beat by Stanford.
Dominated by Stanford.
And that is just yeah, that one was a big question mark for me, and obviously the AD at USC because Clay Helton is now jobless.
Fired in week 2. Good
Which,
God.
as a Notre Dame fan, are we really happy to see because we've kind of owned him.
Right. I wanted him to be there forever. I wanted him to be USC's head coach forever. So
lifetime contract. Yeah.
Just kind of staying. I am jumping around here on the agenda a little bit, but USC. We talk about potential new coaches. I actually heard Brian Kelly's name is being rumored there.
It was Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt put it out there and put him on the make them say no list.
Yeah, I mean, so 2 things on that. A, Brian Kelly's in the twilight of his coaching career. He doesn't need a new challenge. And B, I've said it before, whenever you mention Notre Dame, you're going to get clicks and you're going to get attention, and that's exactly what that was.
That's true. So who do you guys think? Who are some potential new coaches out there?
I mean, you got to think about Luke Fickell. His old boss is the guy that hired him at Cincinnati is now the AD at USC. So he's going to get a phone call. Whether he takes it or not is another question, but he's going to get a phone call, I think. And then I heard James Franklin, which I don't know. Apparently there's mutual interest. I don't know how true that is. He's a Pennsylvania guy. I think Penn State was his dream job, but, if they go 8-4, they might try and run him out of town, and he might do what Jimbo did, where he took the money and ran.
Yeah, no, I heard the third name I heard with those two was Eric Bieniemy from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the scariest name on my list right there. I don't want him there.
I seem to think that he's waiting on an NFL job.
I agree. I don't think he'd take it, but I really would hate to see him end up there. I would. That offense would be crazy.
Has he coached in college?
I'll tell you, the Cincinnati Bengals ought to go after him next when Zach Taylor eventually fizzles out.
I wanted him instead of Zach Taylor.
Absolutely, as did everybody besides Mike Brown.
Yeah,
I'm not as high on him as you two are, but we don't need to do a dive into that because this isn't an NFL podcast. But
so we're not worried about.
Let's just say Andy Reid's plays there. That guy's just got an honorary title. That's just my take. Let's move on.
Let's go back to the Notre Dame opponents.
Yeah.
Check the schedule here.
UVA
is Virginia Tech legit? That's my question.
Virginia Tech, well, I think we'll find out this week. They got to go to Morgantown. Virginia Tech lost a tight end this week, I believe, to a season-ending injury. So that's going to hurt. They said he was probably their best playmaker on offense. That's a tough game coming up. And it's sandwiched in between 4 other tough games.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame. So I think
Robbie
will answer that question on next week's podcast.
We'll see.
North Carolina going out and rolling definitely makes the VT win look good. I don't know who North Carolina played. I want to say it was a FCS school, but even so,
Georgia, I believe they played Georgia State.
Okay.
Virginia rolled Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah. Illinois is not good at football,
so still kind of some. I think they played William and Mary the first week, so we don't know.
Virginia's got. Yep.
We'll get a good look at them though, because we don't play.
Here's an interesting one though: was Cincinnati ended up winning 42-7 against Murray State. They were tied 7-7 at half. So
saw that. Bet the over and lost.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. Could have been a look ahead though. I mean, they got to go to Bloomington this week and play Indiana in a weird game. There's a weird spread there. That I don't know. That game just seems a little odd to me right now. Stanford obviously won. They beat USC, so Notre Dame, no matter what, their schedule was going to go 1-1 there. And then Wisconsin rolled Eastern Michigan, and covered, unfortunately for Robbie, his super dog last week. So what do you guys think those results do for the strength of schedule? Or
I think it's a pretty net even. I mean,
yeah,
not much changed. We found out Florida State stinks. USC stinks, but maybe Stanford doesn't stink as much as we thought. Other than that, I mean, the 2 games in Virginia are going to be fun. The one this weekend is going to be interesting, and UC is going to be our toughest game this year. It looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're still kind of holding out. We could be completely saying something different next week if UC goes to Bloomington and lays an egg for some reason.
I mean, if they, then you're looking at
Terrible
two
schedule.
undefeated. You're looking at two remaining undefeated teams, assuming Virginia Tech and UVA win, because Purdue's 2-0. Ideally, Notre Dame's going to beat them on Saturday and make them 2-1. Then Cincinnati's 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have some more questions answered next week because I think Virginia Tech, they've got to go to Morgantown. Like I said, that's a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati's got to go to Bloomington. So next week we'll have some questions. And with Florida State losing and the way Notre Dame played this week, we might have found out that Notre Dame's not as good as we thought they were.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so you walk out of that Toledo game, you're leaving the stadium, you're like, all right, not great, not what we wanted to see. Let's see if Florida State does good. Maybe we're a little better than we played today, and then they go and get rolled. Well, not get rolled, but they lose to an FCS school. They're 28-point favorites. Yikes.
Yep. So some more around college football. We aren't the only ones with defensive problems that we thought. Ohio State looked not very good on defense. I was getting updates from a buddy of mine, and he said that Joe Moorhead was running circles around Kerry Combs. So, Robbie, I don't know if you saw that game. I don't know if you can agree with that or.
I didn't see that part, but I watched the game, and it was that Oregon offense looked solid, and it wasn't in the pass game. They ran the ball down their throat.
Yeah, so, Oregon probably going to have to play UCLA, it looks like, in that conference championship. That'd be a fun one to watch. I don't know if Ty's rolling his eyes at me or what.
No.
Chip Kelly back to beat the Ducks.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Pac-12 South doesn't look very strong, so I think UCLA is going to – too early to tell. We're in week 2, right? The interim at USC could light some fire, and they could go 8-2. You never know. Or not 8-2. That's only 10 games. 10-2.
Yeah.
COVID year.
Just a couple more bullet points I have. Our boys from Ames are about as good as we thought they were.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah. Bryce, did you see Purdy?
Program in history.
I did not see Purdy.
Purdy threw 3 picks and only 13 completions. So that was
good.
He
plays the piano or the guitar and he sings. I don't know if you knew that about him.
Big stats.
I mean, I don't get it. And just to bring this up, because I do have the over 3. If you would have told me before the season started that Vandy would go to Colorado State and get a victory, I would have told you the 3 was a lock. Now I'm probably going to lose because they lost to an FCS school week 1. But Clark Lee with his first win at a Power 5 school as a head coach.
Love to see it.
So,
yep,
good news there. Did you guys have anything else to add?
No, not too much. I cannot believe that Clay Helton is out. I really wanted him to last at least until the Notre Dame game, but we'll see.
Did they name an interim yet?
I don't know. It almost sounds like they might have additional issues out there. I don't know how you come into this season with the idea that if he loses a game to Stanford, he's canned.
I'm not sure they saw themselves getting dominated by Stanford nearly as bad as they did.
Yeah.
That was
it was a lot of people at the game either.
They scored 15 points. Of the points they scored, 15 of them came in the last 5 minutes. Meaningless touchdowns at Stanford.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad.
Tough loss for the Slovis Heisman backers.
Yeah, too bad their best quarterback in the last few years is in Georgia. But
Dante Williams is the interim coach. I do not know what his role is.
I think I don't know. I think he was the associate head coach or something.
Head coach and waiting.
Yeah.
Only to make it 2 weeks.
But to move on here a little bit, I don't have much to say in recruiting this week. My big thing was, and I think you guys both saw it, the Carnell Tate Dante Moore tweet that went out, the join us one from Aiden Schuler.
Yeah.
And then Carnell said, I don't know that you're ready for this. That was a good tweet. And hopefully that means something, because if we get Dante Moore and Carnell Tate, we're solid for 2023.
Yeah, I saw that. I was excited to see that, but I don't know. I looked at and I don't know how often those guys change their crystal balls, but they're both still split, the two experts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if that tweet means much or.
And in a minor second person that I really want real bad was Xavier Nwankpa. I've heard in a weird twist of fate, it's now coming down to, it looks like it's Notre Dame versus Iowa. I'm not counting Ohio State out yet, but word on the street is Iowa has made a major push, and all of a sudden it's Notre Dame versus Iowa for Xavier Nwankpa. So we'll see.
He's from Iowa, right?
Yep. And they've had a good showing this year, so maybe that swayed him a little bit.
Weird that the Carnell Tate thing comes out the week after Ohio State gets beat the regular season.
Yeah, weird, right?
So that'll be interesting to watch going forward.
Yeah, that'd be a ridiculously huge get for us with our current wide receiver situation with ages and gaps in classes. We're moving on to some picks.
Let's do it. Or let's talk about Notre Dame Purdue first.
Talk about the Boilermakers, yeah.
Oh, geez, forgot about that. I don't know much about the Boilermakers.
Ty, give us a rundown of the game, buddy.
2-0 versus 2-0. 2:30 kick on NBC. Thank God it's not on Peacock, because that was just a disaster. 87th all-time meeting. Notre Dame leads by 30 wins, 2 vacated and 2 ties. Last played in 2014. I believe that was a Shamrock Series game, which Notre Dame won 30-14. Purdue.
I think those might have been some of my favorite Shamrock Series jerseys that they wore that day.
Yeah. So Jeff Brom coming in 5th year. He's 4 games below 500, 21-25, and has one of the best agents in college sports because he's getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah. They're 2-0. I haven't read a ton about them. Haven't heard a ton about them. I heard their defense is actually pretty good. I don't know how true that is. Let's take a look here. What have their scores been? I know they have a wide receiver named David Bell, so I like our chances there because that guy can't manage a baseball game. There's no way he can catch a football.
Yeah, no kidding.
They gave up 21 points to Oregon State and 0 last week, but they played Connecticut. So
Connecticut is maybe the worst Division I program in the country. So.
Connecticut's really bad. So we don't have much of a baseline. But I did hear their defense is supposed to be pretty good.
They had that Karlofsky kid, that DN that's a stud. Maybe the best DN in the country from what I hear.
I guess the first year DC there too, because I thought Bob Diaco was their defensive coordinator and he was only there for a season. He was just there last year and they didn't retain him.
Yeah, Diaco is kind of a different cat.
I think this is one of those games, though, honestly, that when you look at it, it's going to come down to how Notre Dame plays. It doesn't matter. I'm fairly confident we definitely have the playmakers. We got the talent. They just got to go out there and in my opinion, just keep your foot on the gas and just keep – if it requires Mayer to get 25 catches, it requires Mayer to get 25 catches. I mean,
right.
I think it's all about Notre Dame and what they do offensively because like we talked about, their defense really did not play that bad last week.
No. I mean –
I completely agree. I mean, I don't want to get the run game going at the cost of us running the ball too many times like we did last week. But, man, I'd like to see that O-line finally start moving some people this week. But I have zero confidence in that happening. So I think we're going to lean on that pass game again. But like Kenny Ball said, If it requires Mayer and Kevin Austin to catch all the balls, then that's what it requires. Do it.
They got to find a way. And I look back to last week. They lost the time of possession by 10 minutes. I mean, they got to find a way to get their defense a breather. There are times that their offense goes out there and they just run 3 plays and punt, and that makes it hard.
Run,
You're going to get up
complete pass. Yeah.
So that comes with the running game, but they're going to have to find a way. Like I said earlier in the podcast, it literally. You come out the first drive, the first 2 games, and you set the tone. It's great.
Yeah.
And then for some reason they quit throwing the ball to Mayer. They quit doing all that other stuff. I think you'll see a lot more 2 quarterbacks this week. But
Lots of Buckner, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's going to be a lot more 2 quarterback set. Ty, I might be needing a couple updates. I'm in a wedding, and of course it's right about game time.
Yeah, I am playing in a golf scramble, but it should be over by then. It starts at 9, so if we're still playing at 2:30, then I'm just going to quit.
There you go.
Your boy's going to be whipping paint, so.
Nice. You got
to work?
Yeah, got to work.
Oh, my.
At least it's not on Peacock.
Well, sounds like us 3 will be watching in some form or fashion. My dad will be there. I'm sure he'll be giving me the thumbs up or thumbs down for how things are going.
Give you some signals.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it comes down to just how Notre Dame – can we win the trenches for once? Because we did in the last 2 weeks.
No.
We've gotten blown up on the line of scrimmage. So
I think you better draw up some quick passes. I don't think they're magically going to be able to run the ball this week.
Yeah, I agree. And they're going to struggle hard. They're going to struggle harder with Wisconsin next week. But
oh yeah, it ain't going to get easier.
Let's worry about Purdue and go out and get a win. And it's a lot more fun to have these conversations when you're 2-0, 3-0 than when you're, when you got a loss. So,
and I'd really like to see some Rocco Spindler this week on the other line.
Yeah, you got to try something different.
Zeke Correll and Kane Madden are not working at guard at all.
How did and Robbie, you watched on TV? Did the tackles play all right, or
they weren't as bad? It was a major guard problem this last weekend. I mean, the tackles weren't great every play, but they weren't nearly as bad as the interior.
At one point, did they move Patterson last week?
Not that I noticed.
Because Kelly said, we're not going to do that anymore. And I was like, I didn't see him, but maybe they tried to.
No, they didn't move him. But one of the big questions is were they going to move him out, move Correll in, and throw Rocco at guard?
Gotcha. Yeah, got to do something different. But let's just, like I said, let's just win the game and let's go through this next gauntlet and let's get there undefeated.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, all right. I'll let you guys go first. We'll do bold predictions, but we'll start with let's do bold predictions first. Robbie?
Oh, let's see. Bold prediction for the week. I'm going with stealing one from Tidy here. Kyle Hamilton, pick 6. He comes back strong this week. He goes 10 tackles and a pick 6. Gets back into that Heisman talk.
I don't know if it's bold, but I got Jack Cohn going to throw for 400 yards.
Oh.
They ain't going to run the ball. They can't run the ball.
Relatively bold.
His arm's going to fall off. They're going to throw the ball 60 times if they want to win.
Follow Ty. If yours happens, I like for mine to happen. Michael Mayer, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That put him right. That would put him over the halfway mark for the tight end touchdown record.
Really?
Yeah, which is 9. He's going to smash it.
At Notre Dame?
Yep.
Who holds it? Rudolph? Or is it?
I should know who holds it, but I forget who holds it. I don't even remember, but I know the number's 9 because I bet the over.
Speaking of records. Brian Kelly 1 win away from tying Newt Rockney. So tough camp for the Kelly haters out there because the guy just straight up wins football games. So we got our bold predictions. We got Hamilton, Cone, and Mayer, all with big games. How about a pick? Spread is 7. Last I saw it.
I'll go first. I think the Irish finally cover. We win by 10.
All right.
Won 33-23.
I think they win by 14, but I think it's going to be a shootout.
You think it'll be a shootout?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be the only one that takes the Irish to not cover. I didn't plan to be. So I am going to take the Irish to cover. Oh, my. We need a score. I'll say they lay it on them. Cone throws for 400 yards. Hamilton picks 6, 42-21 Irish.
Love it.
I'm going big. I'm going to say 54-40 because it's easy math with my 14-point win.
Ty's calling for a 50 burger.
I mean,
I think our defense plays more football than that.
I hope so. Honestly, the defense did not play bad last week at all.
Yeah,
no, take away the pick 6 and the 10 point and the 3. That's 10 points. That's 19 points.
Yeah. So,
but they also gave up 35 to a team that just lost to an FCS school.
We'll see.
Well, that's all right. That was week 1. I don't read too far into week 1. Let's move on to our picks and our locks. Just real quick, update the fans out there. Robbie and I are 5-6 on the year. Ty, you've been picking them well, 7-4. That's bringing home a profit if you bet them. The locks of the week are a little hairy. Robbie and Ty are both 0-2 on their locks, so you can go ahead and fade their picks. I'm 1-1, and then Ty's super dog has covered both weeks. Robbie's has covered neither week, and I've covered 1 week. So that's where we are with the year-to-date kind of statistics. So let's get moving here. UC at IU. Robbie?
I'll start because this is a double pick for me here is because I'm taking UC and I'm also making them my lock of the week. I think the Bearcats are going to jump on the Hoosiers, but we'll see. I just like that Luke Fickell team to come out with some fire.
Ty?
Complete opposite. I'm taking Indiana at home. I think
love it.
I just don't. I don't know. Cincinnati hasn't played a Power 5 school in 2 years. It's Indiana, their basketball school. I get it. Their honeymoon's over, but I like the Hoosiers to defend the home turf, and I'm taking them.
I think you look at what Iowa's defense did to IU. I think UC, they got a pretty good defense. I think it's a spot for UC to make a statement, a big win for their program and head to South Bend undefeated. I think they fall short and Penix tears them up this week. I'm going to go with Indiana.
Next up,
Michigan State at the U.
Lead it off. You lead it off this time.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
I would take Michigan State with the points, but I'm going to take Miami straight up. I think Derek King is too much for Michigan State's defense, and Miami wins in a close one.
I hate to just copy exactly what you said, but I wrote down the exact same thing. I would bet on Michigan State plus 6.5, but I like Miami at home.
Yeah, this is toughest one of the week for me was this game, but I got to ride with the U. So go Hurricanes.
The U. All right, moving on. The Hokies headed to Morgantown to play West Virginia. West Virginia, 3-point favorite. Ty, go ahead.
I bet I like Virginia Tech to win, so obviously I bet them outright money line. I think we've seen a lot from them, and I don't know. They look pretty good. Don't know as much about West Virginia, but I'm going with the Hokies.
Robbie?
I just like West Virginia at home. Morgantown's a different place, and I hope Virginia Tech wins, but I'm taking the Mountaineers.
Going with the hometown team, huh? This was a tough one for me. With that tight end from Virginia Tech getting hurt this week, they said he's a big-time playmaker. West Virginia, like you said, it's a different place to play football. First road test of the year for Virginia Tech. I'm going to take West Virginia to cover the 3. So I got West Virginia to win that one. All right, little SEC Big Ten action. Auburn headed to Penn State. Whiteout from everything I've seen on Twitter. Robbie, I believe you're up.
Yeah, give me the home team. I don't have any faith in Bo Nix. I'd love to see Auburn upset them, but I'm taking Penn State in the whiteout.
I'm going to follow suit there. I think in the whiteout, Penn State, the home team. In a close one, I don't think they blow them out or anything, but I like Penn State and James Franklin to get it done.
That's 3 for the Nittany Lions. I think I don't know his exact record, but I think James Franklin tends to do very well in whiteout games, outside of maybe an Ohio State loss here and there. But I like Penn State at home too. Too many questions.
Yeah, I know he definitely
coach and an average quarterback.
I know he definitely beat him in one of his whiteouts because I think they blocked a little kick in one of them whiteouts. So
yep.
Next
Next one. I have an idea of what it's going to be, but Bama headed to the Swamp. I like the Tide to roll. Tough to not.
Yeah, I'm with you. Roll damn Tide.
That's my lock of the week. I think Alabama's going to beat the crap out of them.
Tigers lock of the week. Bama. Believe it's like somewhere in the 15 to 16 range. I'll check, get the official number. All right, let's head out west for our last pick of the week. Arizona State headed to Provo to play BYU.
Tidy?
No, zero about either team. On a coin toss, going with Arizona State.
Goes Arizona State on a coin toss. Even though I fear a little bit of a hangover after beating Utah in the Holy War last week, I'm going to go with the home team and take BYU to win outright at home.
I'm going to join the prognosticator and take the Fighting Herm Edwards and the Arizona State Sun Devils. So
is Marvin Lewis still on staff out there?
Last I checked.
I believe so. Yeah. Which means they'll be fine until they get to the playoffs.
Yep.
So moving on, that was the most. We had some differences there. We had some disagreements.
Discrepancies, didn't we? Yeah.
That's the most discrepancies we've ever had in the 3 weeks, and even the four weeks of the over-unders at the beginning of the week. Lock of the week. I believe you guys already gave yours out.
Yep.
Robbie, you went with UC.
Yep.
I with Bama. I think I'm going to go with Boise minus 3.5 with Oklahoma State coming to town.
Not a bad pick right there.
I liked what I saw out of Boise in week 1. And the blue turf, it's a different game up there. And Oklahoma State has looked a little slow out of the gate. So I'm going to go with Boise minus 3.5 in that one.
I think we both explained our picks pretty obvious here with Bama being Bama and UC being a defensive stud for me. I think they're a stalwart, that Indiana offense.
I haven't gotten a lock of the week yet, so I went with the safest bet in college football, which is Alabama.
Yeah.
That's fair. There you go. Super Dogs. Let's see, Ty. You've been pretty good. Who is your Super Dog of the week?
Well, I hope you still got some Dramamine left over because I'm going back to my week 1 Super Dog. I'm taking the Green Waves of Tulane. 14.5-point dogs at Ole Miss.
With
gonna
that,
be a
aren't they 0
shootout.
2?
I'll tell you what, Ole Miss looked good in week 1. Now they played Louisville, but
Yeah, Louisville's Louisville.
I think it'll be a shootout. I'm riding the wave. I am riding the wave.
what was that number?
14.5.
14.5. Okay.
Who you got, Kenny?
I am going with Arkansas State. They're headed to Washington. They're 16.5-point dogs. Washington has not looked very good. Got beat week 1 by, was it Montana?
Montana. Mm-hmm.
And went to the big house last week, and from what I saw, got dominated.
Ran out of the stadium.
And I remember that happening to a team a couple years ago, and I was not very happy. That would have been the Irish on a Saturday night. But I'm going to go with the Red Wolves and roll with it.
I'm sticking to the first team I saw, and that's South Carolina against Georgia. Georgia's favored by about, 31.5? And I haven't seen the Bulldogs score 32 points in the last I don't know how many years. So
that was going to be one. That was going to be mine. I didn't want us to double up. I think unless they get 3 defensive touchdowns, there's no way they cover that spread.
Yeah, they can't score.
Well, against that team, though, they might be able to get 3 defensive touchdowns.
Hey, they're 2-0. They're 2-0.
They're 2-0, but they got like a grad assistant playing quarterback, and they're kind of messed down.
We'll see.
So, all right. Well, I think that's about all we had. Robbie, you want to sign us off?
See you later. I will sign us off. It's been a good time, and we'll see you next week. Go Irish, and let's see if we can improve on these issues we've had.
Yep. We'll see you next week. Hopefully 3-0.
Oh, we'll be 3-0 with a 14-point win.
That's
54-40.
You heard it from the prognosticator.
That's right.
See you later, Irish Nation.
Go Irish.